Hello and welcome to the Career 360 show, the show where we take career-related questions you may have. You can call us on 0120-434-1684. I'm going to repeat that number for you, 0120-434-1684. Or you can put your questions on our website, ibnlive.com. Joining us in the studios today, Shiv Devan. He's from One Step Up. Shiv, thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you.
The first question I'm going to put you is the one a lot of students have been writing in to ask for. Delhi University, cutoffs, are they going to go higher? I'm assuming they are, but how much?
The numbers that they're looking at is that the 90%ers have gone up, and of course, yeah, at 90% you're still not making the top grade, so the 95% guys are going up as well. Say maybe about 1% or 2% this time, but the thing to remember is not to lose all hope till all the lists have come out.
And that's the fifth list.
That's what the VC's his speech was saying in the recent press report.
Yeah, the Delhi University is saying wait for the fifth list before you lose any hope. Let's take our first caller.
Sure.
Then this is Ruchi. She's calling from Jaipur. Hi Ruchi, what's your question?
Yeah, may I know what's the new admission curriculum for Delhi University? And I'm a student from Rajasthan. I scored 93% marks in CBSE.
All right, so there's a new procedure in place for admissions in Delhi University. Could you tell Ruchi about
congratulations on your result, first up, Ruchi. Well done on that front. Effectively, they've set up a new procedure whereby you don't need to go in and fill up a physical form. You're pretty much having given the exams, it's like you've applied. You would need to look out as the list come out as to which college you qualify for, go in, fill it. The advantage of the new system is that you're not having to pay immediately for a form. Second, you can change your choice as the list get filled up a little later. Right up to the third, fourth, fifth list, you can switch. They are going to refund your money in that sense. So once you see the cutoff, see where you qualify, go in, fill forms, then watch the rest to try and move up the rungs a little bit.
Ruchi, anything else you want to ask?
I would like, which colleges would you prefer for me?
Which colleges? See, LSR and SRCC are good colleges, but with 93%,
maybe a little outside.
Yeah.
Look, once you're in Delhi University, if you're getting the top 7, 8, 10 of those, then you're pretty much equivalent. It's the same syllabus that you're covering in either of those. You make sure you're doing well in those colleges, and you're going to be at par with the rest. I mean, okay, there's a bit more of an advantage when you pass out. Say colleges like Ramjas, Hindu, these are all going to be good colleges. Hansraj is very good as well, though I think maybe a little outside, but let's wait and watch as the results come.
And wait for the fifth list, Ruchi. Thanks very much for calling. Next on the phone line is Nishtha. She's calling us from Delhi. Hi Nishtha, what's your question?
Hi, I'm doing my master's from Delhi University in psychology, and I've just completed my first year. For the second year, I have to choose my specialization between organizational psychology and clinical psychology, and I'm very confused as to what options do I have for that. So could you just help me out with that?
Shiv will help you out with that. Shiv?
Okay, so you're wondering basically between organizational and clinical. On the lighter side, yeah, if you're going clinical, you're maybe going to have to deal with slightly more unhappy people. So that therefore means results take a little longer possibly, and you could end up getting frustrated. On a serious note, yeah, I mean, both sides are growing hugely. Organizational behavior, you're looking at teamwork, you're looking at whether people are working better, how to work. Some workforces sell more than the other workforce when it's pretty much a similar product. So it could be exciting over there as well. Clinical will probably take you a little longer to get established. Like any medical practice, you got to put in about 7 to 10 years before you really start seeing the revenues coming in, so to speak. However, as I said, a little bit of patience is what all the psychologists have told me when they're looking at it. A little bit of patience is what you need to keep. Don't get too involved with the clients if you're going on the clinical side of it, because yeah, it's tough not to pass a judgment and get frustrated.
Where do you make more money? Moot point. I'm sure Nishtha is interested in that.
If you're really good, you'll make money in the long term. Don't look at the money in the short term.
Nishtha, anything else?
About organizational psychology, does it really have any scope here in India? Because I mean, most
does.
of the corporates, they don't really employ psychologists. They only take MBAs. So
two completely different things, you know, Nishtha.
You could have,
different things.
I mean, it's not like they won't take you in. The progressive firms will take you in. You can get in touch with people who are doing it. You can join a consulting side of it also and work with these professors. Some of the profs who taught us at business school are doing some very exciting work across a lot of organizations and trying to figure out teams, and they're working with the largest firms in the world.
Nishtha, has that answered your question?
yeah, that is. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks very much for calling in. Thanks. Let's take an email query. It's been put on our website, ibnlive.com. This is from Tasneem in Kolkata. She's asking, what are my career options after doing a degree in botany? Shiv?
If you're going to do a degree in botany, potentially there are lots of career options. You can get into forest conservation, you can get into horticulture, there's environment, there's teaching, there's of course the entire academic line also, where you stick to the academic side and go in with research and so on and so forth. There's also development of medicines which use plant extracts, which is an exciting space to be in. You could also branch out a little bit after the basic degree in botany, hit the life sciences side of it, and then be building the brinjals with which you're going to chase various politicians. Okay, no, you won't be doing that part. But yeah, you could be building stuff which is, I mean, for plants, and we're using plants in everything in our lives. So yeah, broadly I would say forest conservation, horticulture, the environment, teaching, research, lots of areas.
So there's lots out there.
Yep.
Okay. Next question coming from Shubhi in New Delhi. Hi Shubhi, what's your question?
I've chosen science as my subject. I have to with economics, and I have to become an engineer, and I'm confused which stream to opt after my 12th.
Okay, so she's already decided on her subjects. I'm assuming she's talking about what stream she should get into in terms of engineering.
Look, in engineering there are lots and lots of different types of streams available to you. The part to remember, unfortunately, I'm guessing she's going to be applying in India, is that the stream often chooses you. There are two things she has to remember, which you should remember. One is that it's dependent on your rank. So at the end of this year, you may say, I'm brilliant at electronics engineering, but are you going to choose a higher rung institute with a specialization which you'd say is not my number one choice, or basically the choice between college or course? That's something which faces you. So at this moment, I'd say prepare really hard. There's big potential in almost any of them. The easiest one to move into in the long term would be software. One of the large IT firms would hire you, whatever specialization you have, take you to Mysore and like turn you into a bright and shiny new engineer at the end of 6 months, even after you graduated from some other stream. So it'll be dependent on your rank is what I'm saying. So not totally your choice. In your counseling, you'll be offered. Just be aware of where each of these go and then opt for it.
All right, Shubhi, I hope that's answered your question. I'm taking an email query once again. It's been posted on our website, ibnlive.com. This is Rutuja. I'm not sure where she's writing from, but she writes, I'm in my 12th and want to pursue language studies. Please advise.
Rutuja needs to give us, possibly get clarity on one of two parts. Is she looking to learn a language, or is she going to study the linguistics part of it as well in the future? If she's going down the language side of it, huge potential as we're seeing. Any large publishing house today has got a big foreign language arm. We keep hearing India is going global and the global economy, etc., etc. You need people who can speak the language and bridge the gap. So you could end up working for a large consulting company also. We've met people who are in the language space, and because they know the language, they move there. You could do PR and corporate comm and work for a global firm who's got interests all over the place. So effectively, you're working in a Philips or someone, and name any company who's a global interest. Can you talk to the guys in India in Hindi? Can you talk to the mother offices in Amsterdam? Can you talk to them in the language over there? Could it be French? So a language could take you to a number of areas. Linguistics is possibly a little more academic, so she needs to make that choice. But I guess first step, if you have a flair for it, go for it.
All right. Our next question is coming from Neha. I'm not sure where she's calling from. Hi, Neha. Where are you calling from?
Hi, I'm Neha Singh, calling from Lucknow, actually.
Okay, Neha, go ahead with your question.
My question is just to get a sense or maybe a perspective on, the likely courses or the institutes which are good for public relation or PR, which are the courses that one can take to perhaps pursue a career in public relations.
Public relations.
If you're going to get into a large PR firm, you typically have one of two entry routes. One, of course, you can also apply for an internship and get into any of the large PR firms. Ideally, what they're going to look for at that time is the fact that you've demonstrated some organizing. Have you done something in the local mohalla to organize it, or in school, college, have you set up a fest, raised money, looked at stuff like that? They'd put you on for a 3-month internship. They like your face, you like their faces. It could become permanent. However, studying something could help. As you're seeing on the screen, you'll probably have options which are various. MICA has a good course. You can go to XIC. There are a variety of options which take it as well. But a couple of things to remember. If you're going to PR, before you apply there, learn how to read a newspaper is what all the PR professionals told me. And it's not just read it. Know who's doing what bylines. Don't call the wrong reporter for it. And the other things they said is you got to figure out, like, for example, if you look at the anchor on my right, she's going to have some busy times during the day, some not so busy times. Call her during the busy times, she's going to cut your call and get irritated when you call her again.
Totally, and not take the call next
not
time
get the call.
Yeah,
so apart from the courses, the thing that you need to remember is when you're in the line, know who's covering what, and any publicity which is free is what companies love. So can you generate a story or an event where someone like her is going to call you and say, hey, we want to know what's happening, and then come for that? So yeah, pretty much, that's in the longer term. Don't keep them unhappy.
Neha, has that answered your question?
Yes, pretty much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling in. Next, we have Ayushi from Mumbai who's standing by with a question. Hi, Ayushi.
Hi, I'm Ayushi Syal and I'm currently pursuing Masters in Journalism. I aspire to be an anchor. What I'd like to know is there a possibility of becoming an anchor directly, or is it an unsaid rule that one must go through reporting for a couple of years in order to get there, even if you have a show reel and a couple of years of experience beforehand?
I don't know. I think I should point it to you. You're the anchor on the space. What would you say to her?
I would say report for a bit, report for 3-4 years, and then get into anchoring. Honestly, there's a lot more to do than just anchoring and reporting in a news channel. Smriti Advani, in fact, filed this package for you. Take a look.
Critics call it trial by media.
They're the face of the news, bringing you the latest from across the country. But hey, if you thought journalism was all about the anchors and the reporters getting to be seen by millions, think again.
You know, it's 44 degrees here.
There's a whole lot going on behind the scenes to ensure news channels get it right. Meet the men who the reporters simply can't do without, the video journalists. From pushing past the competition to get you that elusive soundbite, to adding the visual treats, every news story depends on how fast they move and shoot. Well, most of the time at least. Alright, footage in, time to churn the story out. And once the script is in place, it's these magic fingers that will weave together words and visuals and ensure the story looks good on air. So what does it take to be a good video editor?
You need to do fast edits. Attention to detail is must. And rapport with the people you work, reporters.
Chocolate दूंगी यार, please जल्दी कर दे. इस bulletin में जाना है.
And a little bribe never hurts. Next up, the dawn of the newsroom, the producer.
Package हो गया?
Nothing goes on air until the producer okays it. Racing against deadlines, this is the team that adds the finishing touches and puts the story on air.
Send karo.
But putting all these elements together isn't an easy job. And that's exactly why you need the studio director. The director calls the shots, and the production control room is where all the action is when the bulletin is rolling live. Well, now that you know what all the news media has to offer, don't just limit your options to reporting and anchoring. There's so many other fields you can choose from. Well, I've got to get back to work now, so weigh your options carefully, and good luck to all you aspiring media professionals. In New Delhi, I'm Smriti Advani.
Advani hard at work. She's in the PCR right now. With that, we're taking a quick break on the show. You keep your questions coming in. Our number is 0120-434-1684. Back in just a bit. With the Career 360 show, Shiv Devan in our studios taking any queries, any career-related queries you may have. Shiv, thanks very much for being here. I'm going to take an email query once again. Lots of them coming in. This is Malini from Kochi. She writes, is an MBA in hospital management a good idea? Is it?
An MBA in hospital management would be a good idea. Remember, even typically the good tier 1, tier 2 MBA schools have a lot of the pharma companies coming in to hire, so you could go that route and keep your options open. But yeah, it's a big space. The odds are, and it's also, I would say, fairly recession-free. We're going to fall sick in any case. So we will end up spending money on the hospital, and therefore you're protected on a happier note in some morbid sense. But yeah, okay. So it's a good option.
It is a good option. What does an MBA do in a hospital?
An MBA guy, look, any hospital is an organization, needs to market, needs to generate funds, needs to manage the finances, needs to figure out, okay, my beds are not full, my inventory is not complete, need to figure it out. On the other side of it, complete control disease breakouts, control infection on that. Look at the manpower. Are the doctors happy, not happy? Do they have the resources? You can't have someone being cut open on the table and have something missing at that last moment. So manage, there's logistics involved. So it's like any organization. There's marketing, finance, HR, there's operations. There is the entire gamut that any organization would face.
All right, we have Ankita from Ghaziabad with a question. Hi Ankita, what's your question?
I'm doing my specialization in finance. I wanted to know what's the scope of investment banking in India.
Shiv?
The scope of iBanking is pretty huge. For the benefit of a slightly younger audience who may be watching you, iBanking is effectively, you're like a broker for property. There are people who are looking for deals where they want to try and acquire someone. They don't know who to look for. The guys who are looking for finance need someone to put them together. That's the simple format in it. Big potential, only thing to remember, you probably would want to go to a tier 1 school to make the top iBanking jobs. The reason I'm saying top iBanking jobs, you need a global perspective in it. Even if you're not in a tier 1 college, the Indian companies, venture capitalists, all of them are looking at people. What does an iBanker do? Effectively evaluate 2 entities, bring them together, and take a happy cut on the same time.
All right, Ankita, I hope that's answered your question. We have Murli calling us from Vijayanagar. Hi, Murli. What's your question?
Hi, good afternoon. I was wondering what my options would be if I was to combine a media degree with a law or a MBA.
All right, so is a combination of media and law better, or is a combination of media and business better? Is that what you're asking, Murli?
What my options would be with either of those combinations.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Very quickly, before you take any decision, just understand what either job entails. If you're going in for law, what is it going to involve? If you're going to go in for a media management kind of job, what does it involve? Before I launched One Step Up, incidentally, I spent about 4 years working in the management at a large media organization like this one. Exciting, pretty much. Let's say, I'll just quickly run you through what your job would involve. You would be looking at a variety of areas ranging from evaluating new opportunities, pitching it to the board of directors. Once they give the go-ahead, you would need to go out there, source the funding, source the partners. Once that comes in, set up the business, take it from there. You also have an opportunity to get seconded to any part of the media business if you have that MBA degree and you've been in a media firm. So I guess an understanding which you get from college would be an added advantage that you have when you come in. When I say seconded, if you look at this organization, we just talked about a hospital. A media firm like this has got a distribution arm, an ad sales arm, a strategic arm, is looking at JVs all around, is looking at the internet space. So you could straddle any of these, specialize, and then move within it. If you're going to do law, remember, I would say that any corporate law firm, lots of them get known for particular areas, then the work starts coming in. I wouldn't say go into a law firm, go into I'm assuming it's corporate law, saying that I'm only going to do media jobs. Look at it with your background and your interest, you'll probably move into a firm which works with companies like this one and like the others we've seen.
All right.
Negative side, law could be that lots and lots of reading. First 5-10 years, little more back end. Your senior will be doing a lot of the good stuff, but that's there in any career, I guess.
All right, Murvi, I hope that's answered your question.
Thank you.
All right, thanks very much for calling in. In fact, that's the last question we could take.
Okay.
Shiv, thanks very much for coming in. Thanks very much.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
This entire show is on our website, ibnlive.com. Thanks for watching.